That's our movie for today. Join us tomorrow for our final disaster movie, Ernest Borgnine, Patty Duke Aston in Fire. We'll also have a GHQ question. And now, stay tuned for Newswatch 16 next.
Good evening, I'm Nolan Johannes. Karen Harsh is away. Tonight in the news.
Well, it looked like an explosive situation here in Dickson City. I'm Kathi Belich. I'll have the story in a moment.
Radio stations and ratings. What's it all about? I'm Craig Stevens. I'll let you know.
Those stories and more. Plus, Tom tells us when the rain will stop, and Joe Zone looks at the Derby field. Newswatch 16 is next.
In your car, listen to Newswatch 16 on WKRZ AM 1340.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Hart, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, chief meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening. Emergency crews are working right now, but the danger is past. Earlier, they were trying to prevent a possible propane gas explosion in a busy Lackawanna County shopping area. A gas leak was discovered about 2 this afternoon, and as Newswatch 16's Kathi Belich tells us now, it has all but shut down. In fact, it has shut down. The restaurant, that's always open. Kathy's live now at the scene on Route 6 in Dickson City. Kathy?
That's right, Nolan. When we first arrived here at Denny's restaurant on Route 6 in Dickson City, we thought that there was a potential for a propane gas explosion here. Firemen were crawling on the scene, making sure that nothing happened, keeping all of us and other people away from the scene. Now, what happened was around 2 o'clock this afternoon, one of the employees here at the restaurant smelled propane gas. They immediately evacuated all the patrons and the employees, and all the power was turned off. Now, earlier in the day, Pennsylvania Gas and Water had confirmed that it was propane gas leaking from an underground tank here at the restaurant. Now, officials told us there were 3 such 100-gallon propane gas tanks underground, and that each had about 50 gallons of propane gas inside. Now, what's happening right now at the restaurant, the company that originally installed the propane tanks is actually sucking the propane out of those tanks, and they plan to fill up the holes with sand so that there's no danger. Now, as we said earlier, we thought there was a very serious danger, and I have with me now Dickson City's Fire Chief William Belinsky. Chief, why do they say now that there is no danger here?
Well, we got a hold of the Department of Labor and Industry, the Boiler Division. We set up an expert on propane, George Bath. He surveyed the area with meters and all the other technical stuff, and all he said was it's a pinhole. He doesn't need us here, and we should go home.
So he said there's no danger of any fire or ignition of any of the flames?
At this time, no. All they're going to do is pump that out. He advised me it may take 2.5 hours, as they are 3 tanks there. They have a capacity of 1,000 gallons each. It'll take 2.5 hours to pump them out. Then they're going to fill them with sand and water, and that's it.
Okay, thanks very much. We're all happy to know that there's not so much danger here as we thought, and we should have more on this on the update at 11. Kathi Belich, Newswatch 16, live with the Instacam in Dickson City.
Thank you, Kathy. In Philadelphia, it's a 9-alarm fire that's keeping crews busy at this hour. The huge downtown inferno hit a 4-story building that was under renovation. One witness says she saw a small fire 1 minute. 3 minutes later, the whole place was ablaze. It was declared under control a little less than an hour ago. Philadelphia firefighters tried to protect an adjoining shopping center from going up as flames shot 100 feet into the air, hitting 4 buildings and covering the whole area with black smoke just 4 blocks from City Hall and historic Independence Hall. Thousands of people were evacuated from the giant shopping complex called The Gallery and The Gallery 2. Newswatch 16 has a crew at the scene of this fire, and we'll have a full report on Newswatch 16 update at 11. Newswatch 16 talks with the nation's expert on giardiasis about conflicting tests on our water supplies. Next.
Fires blaze in tomorrow's $16,000 movie.
There are many questions, actually more questions than answers tonight concerning giardiasis. But one of the nation's leading experts on the disease says that more is known now because of our recent troubles with the disease. Newswatch 16's Mark Davis talked with that man today, and he's live now in our Wilkes-Barre newsroom. Mark?
Nolan, Dr. Charles Hibler has been studying giardiasis for the last 14 years, but even after all of that time, he admits detection, testing, and prevention of the disease are far from an exact science. Shortly after the giardiasis problem hit the Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company Springbrook Reservoir, the company hired Dr. Charles Hibler as its consultant on the problem. For months now, Hibler's been testing PG&W reservoirs for giardia contamination. Many times, his test results differ greatly with the Environmental Protection Agency results. So who do we believe?
That's really up to the DER as to whose results they wish to accept. I cannot, and no one else can say to them, look, you should accept Hibler's results or you should accept Dr. Sausch's results.
Hibler told reporters more was known after each outbreak of giardiasis, and experts have learned plenty from our problems.
What we have realized primarily is that we need to know more about what animals are out there, what their capabilities are, what is the infectiousness of that cyst for man, or the potential infectiousness for man. Just what does this cyst out there mean to a water consumer?
Dr. Hibler tells me that the close monitoring of our water has to continue because there's no guarantees that giardiasis can't come back again. Now, for many people, their experience with this bout of giardiasis is just about over. The Department of Environmental Resources tells me tonight a major announcement is planned for next Wednesday, when thousands more people in the Scranton area will be taken off the boil water advisory. But officials tonight are still trying to find out exactly what areas can safely be taken off the boil water advisory. Mark Davis, Newswatch 16 with a live report from the Wilkes-Barre newsroom. Nolan?
Thank you, Mark. In Union County today, a bank robber got away with more than just the cash. It happened this afternoon at Central County's bank in Lewisburg. A man carrying what police describe as a large weapon asked a teller for money. She gave him some, then he took her car keys and fled in her vehicle. It was found abandoned a few blocks away. Well, our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, is next with the forecast. Tom, Kathy was getting wet in our live report earlier. It looks like you're about to.
I am. It's coming down out there now, Nolan, but tell you how much we're going to get and what the weekend is going to look like when we come back. Stay tuned.
You ought to get out this fall and tour a United Way member agency in your community. From the very young to the very old, United Way serves thousands of your friends and neighbors each year. Visit an agency and see your United Way contribution at work and give generously, cause thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way. Call your United Way today.
A public swimming pool in Montour County that's been closed ever since it was built 4 years ago may finally open this summer. Work has already started on the pool. In exchange, the Montour County commissioners have agreed to pay for needed work here to bring the swimming pool up to state standards. The State Department of Environmental Resources won't allow the pool to open until it has a new filtration system and a bathhouse. Those things, along with cleaning up the pool, should be finished in time for some summer fun. Well, there's some fun outside in the backyard right now. How is it out there, Tom?
Nolan, I'm having so much fun standing out in the rain tonight. It's coming down pretty good now. The rain gauge shows me a total of about a quarter inch up to this point, and I expect it to rain all night tonight. Let's take a look at the current readings outside now. The temperature is dropping. It's down to 51 at the moment. The humidity is quite high at 80%. The wind northeast at 9, and the barometer continues to fall. The range in temperature 61 this afternoon. Before the rain began, 42 the low last night. The record high 85 set back in 1965. And the many blossoms of the month of May across northeastern Pennsylvania. They're kind of pretty. Let's go to live radar, the 60-mile scan coming up, showing just some areas of light rain over northeastern and central Pennsylvania. No thunderstorms in the area tonight. No drenching downpours, and I really don't expect any heavy rain overnight tonight. It'll just be steady and light for the most part. But they were tracking thunderstorms on the radar down in Montgomery, Alabama. Let me show you some effects of a tornado that went through down that way. This was shot today, and one of the dangers of a tornado is flying debris. The trunk of a tree can become a deadly projectile. Look at that, right through the roof. And again, picking up the pieces down in Montgomery, Alabama. Let's take a look at some of those thunderstorms that spawned those twisters on the Newswatch 16 color satellite picture. There they are, down over Alabama there. Terrific thunderstorms. It's all because of very warm, humid air down that way. Lightning can kill more people than tornadoes. It's a fact. Each year, lightning kills about 200 people. Tornadoes on the average about 120. Now, you can see the heavy clouds over Pennsylvania as well. I do not expect any severe weather here, but I do expect some drier air to come in over the weekend. Now, here's the forecast for tonight. Rain and fog, dense fog in the mountains, about 48 below in Georgetown, just outside of Wilkes-Barre. In Shepton, Schuylkill County, 45. McClure, Snyder County, about 48 degrees. Some of the rain will pick up at times, and it'll continue all night long. Here's the forecast for tomorrow coming up in just a second or two. Fog will linger in the mountains. Rain will continue, but it'll be in a form of showers, some light sprinkles and spritzes from time to time. A cloudy afternoon for the most part, though. The wind coming into the west late in the day at 14 miles per hour. Temperatures getting up close to 60, 62 in Excelsior. That's in Northumberland County. The Health Watch showing an average day on the resistance to aches and pains, and your mood should be about average tomorrow as the weather dictates another gray day. Sunrise and sunset, 5:59 and 8:05 in the p.m. The rain tonight, maybe a little thunder, but I wouldn't count on any thunder showers tonight. A few showers tomorrow, partly sunny Saturday, maybe a stray shower, but that's about it, 58. Sunday looks nicer than Saturday. A good bit of sunshine near 61 degrees. Monday getting up into the upper 60s. Close to an inch of rain will fall overnight tonight. Nolan?
All right, that's good. And Joe tells us there's an exhibition softball game on Monday, so you did real well.
There you go.
Joe Zone is up next with all the sports. He'll have the annual Pit get-together and the Sports Star of the Week.
Hi, I'm Dave Lettieri from Scranton. I started my training in northeastern Pennsylvania 7 years ago. And today I'm at Scranton's Nahog Park where I had my first bike race. And now I'm training for the 1984 Olympics. It will take a lot of hard work and dedication to get to the Olympic Games, and we need your support. So please send your contribution to the United States Olympic Committee. And who knows, maybe you'll see me in Los Angeles next year.
A public service of WNEP TV 16.
It's a big day for Pitt Panther fans in this area, right, Joe?
Every year this time, the Pitt Golden Panthers from the area bring in some of the big guns from the Pitt program. They sometimes bring some other little goodies with them, and this is a nice little, see if you can get, that's Beaver Stadium, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the play at the Alabama last year at the top of the end zone, and then the Nebraska game 2 years ago up there in the top left, but I'll tell you what, there ain't many of these available, and I'm going to save that one. But they bring some stuff in sometimes. They have fun, those guys. I'm sure my friends in State College will have something to say. Okay, let's talk about Pitt. You can talk about them as a national contender, but before you do, take a look at the schedule, okay? Brigham Young, Oklahoma, those are the first two games. Miami at Miami, Penn State at Penn State. It's a tough schedule. Some people think, in fact, it's the toughest schedule in the country. It does give the Panthers an opportunity to find out just how good they are. Head coach Foz Fazio doesn't know how good, not yet anyway. He's got 14 starters from last year's team back, but Fazio lives and dies with his defense, and that's where graduation hurt him the most.
Anytime you lose a kid like Tommy Flynn in a secondary, who was the brains of the outfit, the captain, you have to find a replacement there. A Big Bill Moss, a dominant player on defense, and we had some injuries to our defensive guys that we were thinking they're going to fill the shoes in immediately. So we're quite concerned about our defense right now.
Fazio, quarterback John Kajemi, wide receiver Bill Wallace, and others right now up at the Treadway in Scranton with about 750 Pitt diehards. Still time for you to get there and enjoy the program. Well, for the first time in Kentucky Derby history, two fillies are entered together, and they're the early favorites besides. Althea right here at the top of the stretch, and Life's Magic, both trained by Wayne Lucas, both drew excellent post positions today. Althea will go off on the rail in the number 1 slot, 5-2. Life's Magic also 5-2 in the number 5. Another favorite, Swale, is way out at post number 15. He's a 3-1 shot. The maximum 20 horses are in it. If there are no changes, the gross purse will be a record $712,000. The winner will pick up $537,000. You can see the Derby right here, Saturday afternoon. Track and field athletes, many of them tend to specialize, running events or field events, but not this week's sports star, Kate Hatch of Hughesville. She competes in the long and triple jumps, the discus, and her favorite event, the javelin. Kate won the javelin competition at last year's Keystone Games and finished second in the state championships last year. Last week against Loyalsock, she broke her own West Branch record with a toss of 143 feet, 8 3/4 inches.
It feels great. Yeah, I worked hard at the javelin. I practiced all summer, and it really feels good.
But not only does Kate win consistently in the javelin, but the other events too. In 5 meets this year, 20 total events, Kate has 17 first and has finished second twice. With so many events to compete in, it can make for a very confusing day. But Kate says all of the activity actually helps.
It calms me down, really, because I don't have a whole lot of time to think about what I'm going to do, so I don't get nervous.
You don't just get up and throw the javelin or toss the discus or try the triple jump. Success comes with working until you get it right.
She's worked hard at it, and she's able to take her strength and put that together with the technique.
Kate Hatch, one of the top female track and field stars in our area, and this week's Sports Star of the Week. And tonight's Sports Star quiz, guess which one is Mike Thompson, the coach. Okay, take a look at the runners-up. Mike Palis, North Pocono, John Chirkoskis of Hanover area, Debbie Petterman of Williamsport, Jill Solinsky of Lake Lehman, and Katie Tranguch of Bishop Hayford. That's all of it. Give tonight your best shot. See you at 11 o'clock. I got hockey and basketball playoffs, and I'm going to keep this T-shirt and show it around.
Yeah, you're going to be in trouble with all those state college people. You know that, right?
Not me.
Thank you, Joe. Newswatch 16 continues with ratings battle over the air. We'll explain in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Sue Heon from Clark Summit. Northeastern Pennsylvania was a place where I first grew to love swimming. At Abington Heights, I spent a lot of hours in the pool. But it's nothing like 8 hours a day that I spend in training here at Germantown Academy for the 1984 Olympics. Please support the United States Olympic Foundation, and who knows, maybe you'll be seeing me in the 1984 Games.
You may think the sure signs of spring are budding flowers and robins, but as Newswatch 16's Craig Stevens tells us, those in broadcasting see spring as a time for the annual ratings war.
50s. Currently, it's 50 degrees at the Super K, where you can win a 1984 Buick Century. Just keep listening for details here on WKSB.
Get ready. Later today, the 84 Pontiac Fiero is coming up with a chance to make you a twin winner. You'll qualify next hour.
J104 reminding you to get your J104 display up and get the chance to win $1 million only on J104.
Each spring, it seems like every radio station runs a new promotion, offering listeners all kinds of prizes.
We're giving away an $11,000 car, plus a few $1,000s in cash, movie tickets, restaurant meals, things like that.
The prizes are supposed to attract listeners because spring starts a new ratings period.
It's competitive. We try to keep it, a step ahead of everybody all the time. We've had ongoing promotions since the day we went in business.
Several times each year, an independent company uses a scientific method to determine what type and how many people are listening to which radio stations during different times of the day. Now, that might not mean a lot to you, but the radio stations use that information to sell commercials to advertisers.
And naturally, the more people you have listening to your radio station, then, it's something to the advertisers can look at, too. They're reaching that many more people with their products.
Usually the radio stations with the most listeners and the best ratings make the most money. After all, radio is a business like anything else. Craig Stevens, Newswatch 16.
And that is Newswatch 16 for tonight. Be sure to join us tonight on the update when we'll have more of that big fire in downtown Philadelphia, as well as the search in Schuylkill County for those people who are missing at the present time. World News Tonight is next, and we'll be back at 11, so enjoy your evening.